What's going on, guys? It's your boy JoelTFD here. Welcome back to a brand new review for you guys today. Attention, spoiler review, by the way. Today,
Antman!
we are with
Deonix
and
McBurger. How's it going? Great to be here.
Facts.
Sunny California. Love it. Anyways, Antman and the Wasp Quantumania just came out. Newest MCU movie. Have you guys seen the entire MCU?
Yes.
Yes. Alright, so we're all caught up. Now, I feel like this is the first thing you have to ask yourself when you watch an MCU movie nowadays. Could you watch it without seeing any of the movies before it, or at least only seeing Ant-Man 1 and 2?
So here's the thing. I think because this movie, spoilers by the way, this whole
Yeah,
review is going to be
spoilers.
spoilers. So I think because this movie breaks a lot of the stuff set up in past MCU movies, I don't know if you necessarily need to see them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, and
that makes
everything
sense.
that you do need to know, they kind of explain. They're always
They
pretty
explain
good
it
at that.
away.
He
Like,
writes a whole fucking book about it.
Yeah, and then
there's
he
literally, like,
has
a
multiple
monologue.
scenes where he sits there and is like, oh, I did this and this was around there, and you can just kind of be like, okay, that's alright.
What's your
Yeah.
game video to fight Captain?
I don't think you need to see the movies.
Yeah.
It definitely helps.
Well, that's
although
with every MCU movie. You don't need to, but it helps.
I'm just realizing this now. If you watch the first two Ant-Mans, you might be disappointed because Louise is nowhere to be seen.
That's true.
Not even in the
There
movie.
was no Louise at
Oh
all.
my fuck.
And I didn't even think about that.
He didn't get.
Oh my
It
god!
had become tradition at that point that he recapped the entire
last
events.
movie.
Yeah, like the events
Holy
up to that
shit.
point.
Shit.
Where was he?
Louise.
Wait, that actually
Disrespect.
brings my score down.
Yeah,
I
honestly.
had a decent score.
And he's
for
a
it
funny
already.
character. He's a good character. I always liked him.
Did you see that they were going to release it and him recapping the entire MCU?
They
Like,
should
in
have.
character?
They absolutely should have. That would have been way better than that stupid Legend show they have. So yeah. Anyways, that's already gonna take our review. But yeah, gonna go down the line. I say right, and
Yeah.
just everyone say their opinions. And
Alright.
then-
Yeah.
So who wants to go first? You want to go, McBurger?
All right, I'll go first. I think it was a good movie.
Okay.
It was pretty good. I don't see myself rewatching it personally. There were a lot of cool action scenes. I think the best one is probably the scene a little bit before the final fight with Kang, specifically Giant Man.
Right.
Because
right.
I don't know. Giant Man's one of my favorite characters. I don't like Ant-Man all that much, but Giant Man is really cool.
He can fuck. He can fuck.
Yeah, well, speaking of fucking, there's
A lot of fucking in this movie.
Yeah, there's
There
a lot
is.
of innuendos.
Yeah.
Anyway, on to probably the two big things about the movie that I really liked. Bill Murray and MODOK.
Okay, so for those who haven't seen the movie, Bill Murray's in one scene?
He
and
is in
barely
a
does anything.
single scene. The entire time, the only character we could think of him being was Garfield for some reason,
So
and that's it.
we just sat there and we're like, oh, I bet he's thinking about hating Mondays right now. Like the stupidest fucking humor.
And then after that, the only best character in the entire movie, MODOK. No competition. I actually felt more threatened personally by him than I did Kang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He is unintentionally the funniest character in the entire movie.
I liked when they showed his ass.
He tells no jokes, but every time he's on screen, I'm laughing.
A lot of that came down to visuals.
My favorite part about MODOK was when they literally grabbed him from the pond and you see his ass cheeks.
Dude,
Yeah,
fucking
dude, full ass
Double
cheek. They really
cheeked up. It's a Thursday afternoon. Sun's not even down. No, I have to agree with you. MODOK brought me the most internal joy
Yes.
of anything in the movie. The entire movie, I just kind of sat there and I was like, okay. A lot of it was kind of weird and confusing. It was a lot of things that they were like,
Yeah.
this is the Blaylar region from the some Rick and Morty shit where they just kind of say words.
Yeah,
And I
this
was like,
whole
oh
movie
my
made
god,
me-
which is not a good thing.
Yeah, which
not
isn't
a good thing.
thing.
But MODOK, every time I saw him, I got this little smile on my face. I was like, oh, it's MODOK, he's back.
What's funny is all the stuff that was in the movie kind of felt like a Rick and Morty sort of vibe,
Yeah.
which I didn't like. But MODOK felt like he could be a joke in Rick and Morty,
Right.
but a good one.
a good
in
Rick and Morty joke,
Like
like a
a
season
good-
1 or 2 joke.
Yeah, like an actually funny joke from
Right.
the show.
Right.
But I don't know what it is. I think everyone who sees this movie is gonna love MODOK. Just
Yeah.
because he's designed to be one of the dumbest character concepts
And
ever.
you saying that kind of brought this to my brain. I didn't even think about this, but something about this movie just felt it's very MCU. And it feels like
Yeah.
you can feel it. You sit there and you're like, all right, this is an MCU movie.
Yeah.
There's scenes with MODOK where you're attached to him because he's so goofy and funny to look at, but at the same time you're like, he's not as funny as they're trying to make him be. He's funny for all the different reasons. He just looks goofy as fuck.
It's like when people say that they need to be more comic accurate with the designs of the suits and stuff.
Right.
This was taking it
Too
too far. Way too far.
It didn't feel like an Ant-Man movie. The more I think about it,
No, the more that you could have literally swapped Ant-Man out for any other
character.
superhero,
Yeah.
and it
It
would have
was-
worked. Iron Man, would have worked perfectly fine.
This was like the most polar opposite from Ant-Man 1 that you could get. This was like a
100%.
This was like a Star Wars fan fiction almost to me at times.
It's
very much like similar to the original Star Wars style of like, oh, they land here, they meet these people, which bring them to this place, and like it's very. I don't know if they were going for a Star Wars appeal. I don't like it when movies go for Star Wars appeal because Star Wars was just. It's a story that only they could have told at that time with that style.
Yeah.
And I never feel like it's great when it's recreated. And it definitely, because especially the first Ant-Man was a heist movie, and then the second one was.
Whatever the fuck.
Whatever that plot was, that movie. It was funny. I don't know. There were still some funny bits to it, but then there was this one, which was just like so weird. It didn't feel like what the series was building up to.
It felt like a bunch of writers got into a room and all pitched their idea for Ant-Man, like what they wanted the third movie to be, and then they didn't trim it down, look at the best parts. They just kind of went, okay, Steve, that sounds like a good idea. We'll use that. All right, that sounds like a good idea. Yeah, show his ass cheeks halfway through the movie. Smart idea.
If they had shown more MODOK ass, I would have liked it more.
If they showed more MODOK, period, I'd have liked it more.
Yeah.
It should just name the movie MODOK Quantumania.
Yeah. He replaces Ant-Man as the main
Ant-Man and the Wasp,
protagonist.
Quantum MODOK. Anyways, Gamer Dude, your opinion?
I think it was pretty good, honestly. Like you said, Louise, I should have. Damn. That really.
It was weird because it didn't come to mind, but then once you notice it, you're like, oh, fuck, man.
Yeah,
That's a lot of things.
and plus his whole crew, I feel like they were like a part of Ant-Man in some way.
Exactly.
It just kind of felt. I think that's why it like kind of not feels like a
Ant-Man movie.
Yeah, an Ant-Man movie.
Because they lost a lot of like the side characters.
Yeah, the side characters that really brought Ant-Man together.
If you really
honestly.
think about it, Avengers Endgame featured more Luis than Ant-Man 3 did.
That's true because they had a single shot of him.
That and also the van was there.
That's true.
His
That's
van
true.
with the horn.
That's crazy. Yeah, that definitely added to it. It was a weird movie. It's something that, you probably won't be upset that you watched it, but you're like McBurger said, you're not going to go back to see it anytime soon. At least I'm probably not. I enjoyed it.
It feels like a C tier Marvel movie.
Yeah.
But like
with
like the top of C tier.
Yeah.
Like
it almost feels like a B tier Marvel or a C tier Marvel movie with B tier elements in it.
Yeah, like there's funny. The villain.
MODOK is
we don't talk about Kang.
No Kang.
MODOK.
No Kang.
Pretty good villain. I liked him.
Loved him.
Wasn't a very threatening character, but he was very funny, and I very much liked him. Half the side characters didn't really need to be there, if I'm honest. Hank contributed nothing to the story.
Not a single thing.
Like, yeah, he had the ants at the end, but like, so can all of them.
Yeah, they all could have done that.
Yeah, Janet. I guess Janet
was there to explain it. She was literally there to explain everything.
Yeah, she was just expository.
Yeah.
I liked Kang personally. I did like Kang. I feel like they could have. I don't know how to really put it, but like I feel like they made him like a good threat, but like they should have explored more about his character, about being more of a bigger threat.
Right. Especially since he's the big bad.
But then again, it is like an Ant-Man movie, and he's supposed to be an Avengers level threat.
Exactly.
We're not gonna show too much of him.
Yeah.
Of course, I understand that, but they should have like at least put a lot more like threatening shit, like maybe like some shit that he did in the past instead of giving like a whole bunch of like fucking touching shit and be like going through some type of shit.
Yeah. Once you see it, you'll know what we're talking about. But like for me, Kang, he was a good threat. He was there. He was present, but at the same time, I just wasn't. I don't know. It wasn't fully sold for me. I liked him. I was like, oh, he's kind of, and especially near the end, he got very intimidating near the end.
Yeah, I love that ending. That's like one of my favorite fights, honestly.
Yeah, that was a good fight.
Like with him and Ant-Man.
For the most of it, he's just like he's there.
Yeah, I literally was expecting Ant-Man to die right there. Like not even die, probably like get by himself stuck in the quantum realm, pretty much. Like you know that part when he starts jumping in like. When Kang almost jumped in the portal, I was expecting him to probably like shoot some shit like that in the portal to destroy everything.
Yeah, that's what I was expecting it to be like. Ant-Man closed the portal, got stuck there with him, and King just fucking annihilated him and killed him. And then just got angry. But they did the typical Marvel thing: hero has to win.
It does feel weird that this is a third movie, because typically in Marvel movies' third installments, they really try to like put the heroes at their lowest point.
Exactly.
Like
Iron Man 3.
Iron Man 3 lost all the suits. Thor lost literally everything in
Ragnarok.
Ragnarok. Peter literally lost everything in the third movie, but like Ant-Man literally lost nothing.
Yeah.
Like if anything, he gained stuff.
He did. He got to fix a lot of his wrongs. Be with his family. He won.
His daughter's now a superhero.
He did lose something.
Speaking of his family,
He did lose something.
What did he
Louise.
He did lose Louise. He did lose Louise. And he lost that sweet MODOK ass.
Oh, we did lose.
You know what? That's the other thing I do want to mention. For whatever reason, and this has kind of always been a thing in Ant-Man, but specifically at the beginning of this movie, the entire family was such a fucking dick to him.
Oh my god!
Oh,
And
yeah.
felt so out of character.
And he was like, oh, I saved the world, and they all start mocking him, and they're like, oh, you haven't said that a million times, but it's like, dude, he saved half of like universe from extinction. He was the reason that happened.
But don't forget, I think. Well, actually, they did blip.
They did. They all blipped.
Yeah, all of them did.
All of them.
And
did,
then he
yeah.
fucking
Except
saved their
Cassie,
asses,
but, like,
except for
Except
Cassie.
Cassie, yeah.
Actually, wait.
So,
And then Cassie was pissed
did
at him for
blip.
being like a
No,
distant
Cassie
father.
didn't blip.
She
No,
didn't,
Cassie-
because she grew up.
She grew up.
She grew up, yeah.
So, and that's the thing. Cassie like is angry at him because he was gone. It's like, dude, he was stuck in a time vortex. That's not his fault.
What confuses me the most about the movie is actually two things about that.
Yep.
Number one, they say in the movie for some reason that during the blip, like when everyone was gone and stuff, Cassie was working on like and reading all of like Hank's stuff.
Right.
How did she know about that, first of all? Because did Scott just randomly go up to her and be like, hey, by the way, this is Hank Pym, this is his journals, this is all his research,
right.
just
I think
read
it's
this shit.
She
I
did
think
call
it's-
him Grandpa.
No,
I
so-
guess, but like...
Yeah, that was kind of weird. I think in the second movie,
Right.
Cassie knows that he's Ant-Man pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like she starts realizing that like, oh, like she's with forgot her name. Wasp.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
it's the same. It's a fucking animal. I mean, it's a fucking insect.
It's in the title of the movie.
It's
We
in the
just
title of
watched.
the movie, Joel.
he's with Wasp, and Wasp is Hank's is that
Right,
pretty
yeah.
much. So she like probably put two and two together and
Yeah.
probably
I mean,
did
I
some
guess.
research.
But,
I don't know.
It does feel weird.
It does feel weird, but maybe
I-
we could have gone a little bit into depth with that. But
That's another thing. The beginning felt very fast. It was very much like,
That's- yeah.
hit the beats, get into it, we're done. Here we are. And it's like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. They definitely should have taken a little bit longer in the intro.
The second thing that really bothered me, though,
Yep.
is, like you guys said, they were so out of character
So-
at the beginning.
It
Yeah,
was
like,
fucking
100,
weird.
yeah.
Like, the big thing that is so, like, obnoxious and, like, confusing to me is that he says, like, in the beginning, like, oh, well, I saved half the universe, and I fought with all the Avengers, like, all
Right,
this stuff.
right.
Like, this is impressive shit. But then they're all just like, oh, well, yeah, but what are you doing now, Scott?
Yeah,
I know you
yeah.
saved half the world, but, like, I don't know, what have you done recently?
What's that, Scott? You like were out of your own time for 5 years, had to watch your daughter grow up after losing her while you were in prison again. So you're constantly missing out on your own time just to save everyone else. And yet now you're not doing anything and you're taking a break to revel in your own victory. That's not cool. Why are you doing that?
What's even weirder is at the end, they kind of treat it like Scott learned a lesson or something.
Right, to be less of a distant father, and it's
Which
like,
is like-
that's never been the
been,
problem.
if anything, that's been the opposite.
Right, he's always
for the
been
entire
like,
movie.
he's always done everything for Cassie.
He's been trying to be a better father
Right.
the entire time. He did it in Ant-Man 1 when he gave up crime and became a superhero.
Yeah.
And then in 2, the entire focus is like him being like, I gotta get out of this because like
Right.
I want to be there. But like they treat it at the end, especially when like he's walking down the lane all excited, like he got
Right.
his daughter a birthday cake. It's like, did he not do this already?
Right.
yeah.
Was he not doing this before? Like
You'd think
it's
he would
so-
immediately start making up on lost time. It's not. It's,
Yeah,
they framed it as though Ant-Man came back, was like, "Oh, I'm so upset that I lost 5 years of my daughter," and then went back to like not caring and just like
they treat
did
it
nothing.
like he's this egomaniac who
Right.
who is just focused on himself, and like the most he did was write a book
Yeah,
and say hi to people on the street,
exactly.
which
right.
is like average.
So
Like,
yeah,
that's
that absolutely was
like-
the weakest part of the movie.
like Scott's character development was like, what the.
There was no development needed. He was already
Yeah.
trying his hardest, and then
Like-
they were just like, "No, you're not trying hard enough." And then he was like, "I guess I'll
Yeah.
try harder then."
If anything, I would have given it more to like maybe
Cassie.
Cassie. Maybe Cassie. She
I-
was a well-developed character. I
She
did
was.
like her.
I would have, but I probably would have done something about like teaching her a lesson about, oh man, my dad's dealing with some fucking dangerous shit. Maybe I should not be so
Yeah.
mean to him.
What is really weird to me though is the fact that for some reason Scott now has like the can always go giant man when he wants.
Yeah.
But like
Doesn't.
Cassie still has to manually do it.
Right. That
Like
was
she
weird.
she couldn't just automatically do it. She had to like do the thing that he did in.
Oh yeah, Cassie has a
Civil
suit
War.
now. They really
Oh,
don't
yeah,
explain
she just-
it. She just
well,
has a
she's-
suit.
It's a passing line in the opening where they
Yeah.
say that she has a suit now.
Yeah.
Never wears it for half the movie.
She
then
also has a
eventually
criminal record now.
Oh
Oh
yeah.
my gosh.
Yeah. So all right, if you had
3
to
times
give
in
it
jail.
3 times in jail, good job.
3 times in jail, new suit. I mean, hey, this is at least they're trying to give her
Right.
more development than like half the other characters that they've introduced
That's
throughout
true.
the last
That
few
is true.
phases.
Hey, she had more development than Captain Marvel.
True. What's the difference? Carol learns that she can fly at the end and then has perfect control over it.
Yeah.
Or Cassie has to actively learn.
Yeah.
Actually, she
right.
doesn't even master it at the end.
She doesn't.
Of her
She
shrinking down
works-
and hitting them. She still can't do it.
She's like learning to use the powers.
She can-
It felt
Yeah.
that was cool.
I
That
kind
was
of
really
like
well done.
that they show she can't do it in like small form.
Right.
Because like she's struggling with that. So instead she goes giant to do
Right.
that. By the way, if you haven't seen the comics, that is her thing.
Yeah,
She goes
big.
She goes big more than she goes small compared to
Didn't know
Antman.
that.
Which is fine.
It's like they all three of them have the same power.
Yeah, except like Wasp for some reason can fly, shoot lasers, and
Yeah,
also fly. in, like, her
favoritism,
baseball.
probably.
Yeah, favoritism.
Tank's daughter.
He never gave it to Scott for
I
whatever
don't know.
reason.
I'm excited about the idea of Secret Wars and stuff and what they're setting up. I think it'll
too.
be fun. I think it'll definitely be a fun journey. I'm not anywhere near as excited as I was for the Infinity Saga,
Yeah.
but this movie, it didn't do a good job getting me excited for what's coming next. Because
Yeah.
like the biggest thing I'm excited for this year is Guardians of the Galaxy, which is like its own thing, really.
Nah, honestly, okay, that. But I'm also excited for season 2 of Loki.
That's true. Yeah, season 2 of Loki will be pretty good.
By the
Yeah.
way, one of the end credit scenes. There's 2, by the way. Well, I mean, you already said it, but the first post credit scene is like Kang with like
Other
literally
Kangs.
bringing all of his variants.
Yeah.
And then there's also the second one, which is like a teaser to season 2 of Loki, which got me fucking hyped. Honestly.
That was pretty. Honestly,
Yeah.
the fact that they got like Loki and Owen Wilson for that.
Yeah.
Fucking awesome.
That is true.
We should have got a wow.
I know.
That's
Dude,
that's Kang. Wow.
he literally was like, you were telling me this guy's some sort of like crazy dictator. Wow, they could have thrown him
Are you
in.
telling me that this guy is some kind of a suicide squad?
Has he said wow once in the MCU?
No,
Damn it!
I don't think so.
Disney, get your shit together.
Listen, they also did not let Bill Murray make any references to any of these movies, so
Doesn't he usually do a reference to his movies and all
I
his
have no
movies?
clue.
I don't know. Okay.
I
alright.
zoned out during Space Jam 2. Or Space Jam 1, my bad.
Why the fuck is that the only thing you know him for besides Garfield?
Also known for
Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters.
I honestly, all I could think of in the theater, I was like, oh, Bill Murray, I love him. He was in
Garfield.
Garfield.
That's it.
And in the back of my head, I was like, Ghostbusters. And I was like, what else? I mean, Zombieland technically, but he just played himself. So
You
it's
know
like,
what's really funny? I actually genuinely didn't realize it was Bill Murray for like 20 minutes. After you said it, you told me Garfield, and that's the reason I couldn't think of any other movies for who he was, because I couldn't recognize it was Bill Murray for the life of me. And then near the end, like, of the scene, I started realizing it was Bill Murray, and I was like, oh shit.
I thought of another complaint. This one might be a hot take. I don't know. Nothing about the Quantum Realm felt very visually interesting to me.
I think it felt interesting, it just felt samey.
Yeah, it had the same
Same.
feeling that I got when I saw the trailers for Strange World, where it was like, this is the Strange World, look at how weird this stuff is, but it was like, I've seen it.
It felt like,
I haven't seen Strange World, so
I haven't seen it,
I
but from the
haven't seen it
trailers,
either.
that was the vibe I got.
I never saw the trailers either.
but I feel like what it was is, it felt like they were trying too hard to
Yeah.
make it strange.
Like
Like,
weird.
oh, your buildings aren't alive? Like,
Yeah.
That didn't need to be a
Exactly,
thing.
exactly.
Like, that was just
That's what
kinda
I'm saying, yeah, that's what
stupid.
the kind of feeling it gave me. It was like, they were trying so hard to make it like weird and goofy. It
Oh,
was just
you
kinda
get to
like, oh.
greet people by killing them, by stabbing
Right.
them, and then they regrow their limbs.
You control this shit by sticking your fucking hands in these disgusting like worm
like
creatures.
it felt too try.
Everything was flesh too. That was weird.
Yeah, that was
Everything
really
was
weird.
There was a lot of like not just sexual innuendos, but like sexual imagery. It just felt.
Yeah, there was a lot of like.
It felt like a
weird
really
stuff.
horny movie.
Like it felt more forced than Thor Ragnarok. Like Thor Ragnarok had that like stupid joke of them saying
Right.
the devil's anus like 50,000 times.
Yeah.
But like this one just had like an entire scene with Bill Murray talking about the fact that he fucked Janet.
and like super obviously too.
Yeah, like they basically confirm it at the end.
Yeah. He was like, I fucked your mom. It's like,
Like to his daughter's face.
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
Like come on,
Dude.
in front of her husband and her kid. Like come on.
he started out like he was like, things used to be wild, and then it got to the point where he was basically like, I fucked her, I destroyed her, I annihilated her in bed.
After that, they bombed him, and he looked into the camera and said, "I hate Mondays," and then got killed.
Dude, I thought the weirdest scene was when like Bill Murray like. He stood up on the table and pulled his dick out and started like waving it back and forth.
Joel's looking at you like I'm gonna edit this shit out.
Did we not? You didn't see that scene?
No, I didn't.
It was right before he like announced the guards coming in. He was like, "Oh, looks like it's time to go for you guys," and he started waving it, like flopping it back and forth.
That
at
was
them.
improv by Bill Murray, actually.
You know what?
They didn't tell him to actually
He's-
record that.
And he didn't have to pull his real dick out for it, but he did, which was like
they
he
had a
really is
props
dedicated to his
ready and
craft.
everything. Joel, I am looking at Joel's face right
Like,
now. He's
I
just
don't
like,
remember that.
Bro,
I know he got up and started saying that, but I don't remember
I'm
him.
completely fucking with you.
Oh.
He doesn't pull his dick out at all.
Anyway, Okay, the best part of the entire movie was the final fight specifically because it was really cool how they improv the entire thing. And instead of actually planning out a fight scene, the guy who played, I don't remember his name. Jonathan Majors came out and just started beating the shit out of Paul Rudd on set one day.
Dude,
no prompting, no
like,
statement.
Paul Rudd wasn't ready for it, so
Paul
it really
Rudd just
felt real.
started yelling. At one point, he even broke the mask, and Paul Rudd was like, "What the fuck, dude? What are you doing?"
Yeah, and he pushed him on the ground. He started kicking him.
He started like kicking him. Antman was like Paul Rudd was screaming. Like,
It was like total like genuine fight or flight. He was scared of death.
Just like how they made Willem Dafoe actually beat the shit out of Tom Holland in No Way Home.
I almost believe that.
And he wasn't ready for it. Like, Willem Dafoe wasn't even planning to be in the movie. He just showed up to set one day.
I will say, I'd say that this movie was better than all of the Phase 4 movies.
100%.
I
From
can
memory?
see some that were a little better, but I will say it is better than all of the sequels in Phase 4, except for No Way Home, obviously.
Yes, yeah, okay,
No Way Home
no.
was-
Sorry, I always forget that No Way Home is Phase 4.
Same,
It doesn't
same.
feel Phase 4.
Here's the real benchmark, though.
Yeah.
Which do you think was a better movie? This one or Shang-Chi?
Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi was the most, like, middle-of-the-road movie.
Yeah,
for me
I would say
last
Shang-Chi
time.
too.
Really?
Well, not middle of the road. Good, but, like, middle of the road in terms of, like, MCU movies.
Right.
Like, it was a
Okay.
decent movie.
For me, honestly, I thought Shang-Chi was actually one of the highlights. I thought that Shang-Chi was like a really fun movie.
I thought it was fun. I just
Everything
didn't
about it
like
was
the
good. Yeah, the ending was a little but I really liked that movie, actually. I'd say, okay, I'm trying to think of Phase 4 movies now. Black Widow was very mid.
Mid. Nah, I
Mid, bro. That shit was ass.
Okay, fine, yeah, Black Widow was shit. All right, I can get down to that level. Dude,
Yeah.
we should do
It
a
was
Marvel movie tier
decent.
list.
we should.
We should
All
do a Marvel
three of
movie
us
tier
together.
list.
I don't know how many likes you get normally, Joe.
I
Dude,
was
this
gonna
better.
say
Set a
I got
like
like
goal.
3 likes.
All right, 5 likes will make a movie.
You joke? I used to do that on my videos. I used to be like, 5 likes and I'll make a sequel, guys.
I do it on my videos. My benchmark was 10 back in the day.
0
No,
likes.
on my old channel, I had a Blockstar Planet video.
Yeah.
Or at first I did Movie Star Planet. If I got to 5 likes, I'd make a sequel to Blockstar Planet. I got the 5 likes, made the Blockstar Planet. I set it at 10 likes. The video didn't get that and killed my channel.
You hate to see it. People wanted to see that
It's
shit.
at like 7 now. If you guys find the old channel and get that to 10 likes, I will re-upload them to my current channel and then make the sequel.
No,
finally.
upload on that channel. There's no excuses.
No, yeah.
Find the old password.
Oh, I have the old password, so I can do
Oh,
it.
okay.
Easy.
All right.
Yeah.
Everyone that's watching this right now, find Deonix's old channel.
Deonix's old account. You'll know when you see the Movie Star Planet video. You just need 3 more likes, and that sequel will finally come out, guys.
I want this sequel. It's like how I wanted you to stream Sonic Adventure 2.
Wait, you
I
said-
did it.
Wait, what's the video called again?
3 idiots play Blockstar Planet in 2020.
Blockstar Planet.
Yeah.
This is 2020?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I thought
just
this
put
was
the
in, like,
video in the
2016
description.
or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, Joe's gonna find this shit and put it in the description. God, how are we getting so off track from Antman and the
right.
Wasp?
It was a good movie. It was fine. I wouldn't watch it again. I enjoyed it though. I was happy to watch it with my buddies. I'd give it a 5.5 out of 10, probably.
I'd give it a 6 out of 10.
All right.
I'll give it a 7 out of 10.
All right. That's
All right, we
appropriate.
slowly went up. Good job, everyone.
All right. Yeah. Good job.
So
it a
averaging it
7.
out, it's a 6 out of 10.
It's about a 6 out of 10. Yeah.
Averaged out. Put it on the screen in Comic Sans right
Yeah.
now, Joel.
I want to say right now, he said that it was going to be a 9 out of 10.
That's true. That's true because of MODOK
That was
specifically.
before I remember that Luis is in the movie.
It took down 3 points.
Yeah, it took it down 3 whole points.
Ants.
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 Ants. Antman.
So if you guys did enjoy the video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Make sure you guys check out both of them channels in the description box below.
Yeah.
Peace out, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Subscribe, please. Please.
God, I'm so desperate.